G'day, Chief. So good to be with you once again. Thank you for tuning in to the Inner Chief podcast. In this very special minisode today, I want to talk to you all about career stalls and getting promoted faster. Before we do that, what you're going to learn today is a bit about why we started Chief Maker in the first place, some of my own challenges in early leadership positions, and why we really came out to create a set of frameworks and processes to help you nail your job every single day. Now, back in the early days, this would be 15 years ago now, I was an aspirational young leader and sort of ended up in a really good position in a government role where I was very aspirational. I was really giving it my all every single day. I'd turn up to work early, I'd get my ducks in a row and all my meetings planned and all my projects in order. I think I had at one stage about 10 or 12 people reporting to me, and it was a really full-on job for a young guy. I was would have been 27, 28 at the time, but fun. Like, I enjoyed it. And then a number of things happened where I realised I didn't have the skill to do this job. It was beyond me. I had at one point a little bit of a disagreement between two people in my team. I had no idea. No one had ever taught me anything about that. And I literally had no idea what to do. So it was stressful for me. It was stressful for them. People could see what was going down, so it wasn't good for my reputation. We stalled in our progress. And that's when I realised I had sort of been promoted to the level of my competence, or almost incompetence, right? I mean, no one was saying that to me directly, but I could feel it, that I wasn't performing any longer. And that's when I decided I was going to step out of a leadership position and actually go and study high performance. And that's when I went and studied high performance psychology and re-educated myself and started working a lot in the world of elite sport and individual excellence. That's the real nexus, the very beginning of where Chief Maker came from 15 years ago. And what we're really talking about here now is when you get into a role, be it in elite sport or in business, what actually goes on in your career is you go on a bit of a journey map. You go on a journey where you grow and you hit a peak, and then sometimes you have a bit of a trough after that, or you plateau, and then you go again. Now, what actually happens for most people is they improve in their job, they go up through the levels, maybe they hit a peak and maybe a plateau, a certain percentage get promoted, and the rest, which is about 80% at every level of an organisation, don't get promoted any further. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to show you now a little bit of what we call a career journey map. If you're not on YouTube, just go to the show notes for this and make sure you can see this journey map, because it will really help clarify for you what has been going on in your career, why maybe you have been promoted so far, and absolutely why, if you are starting to hit a career stall, why you are stalled. Okay? So on a career journey map, as I said, you go up on this nice trajectory. First 7 years of your career, you're going as a pure professional, 100% technical role, doing the job. At around about 7 years, we know, based on research, that most people go through, if they're going to be promoted, they go through a promotion. Only about 20% of people make it out of those roles globally. That's all it is, right? Then you go into like a proper manager position. And if you're doing a really good job there, after 5 to 7, maybe 8, 9 years, somewhere about the 7-year mark, you get promoted again into a general manager role. Now, we know that only 20% of the managers, so now we're down to 4% of total population, make it to this level. So it's more competitive, it's more difficult, it's more complex, there's a broader breadth of information and detail you have to be across. If you do a great job there, after about 7 years, you get promoted to the C-suite. And we know that only 20% of that 4%, right, actually, which is less than 1% of people, make it all the way to the C-suite. And then once again, you go again, only about 20% of those people that make the C-suite make a CEO role. So it is a very low percentage of people. Now, I want to talk to you about what happens at a career stall or a plateau. Now, you might love the level you're at, and that is fantastic. That to me is being a great chief, which is identifying the level in the hierarchy that you want to be at and getting to that spot and absolutely nailing it. You may also have a desire, have a wish and a dream to go at least one level more, but you find yourself really starting to struggle, really starting to struggle to stand out, to attract opportunities magnetically that maybe earlier in your career, when the competition wasn't so fierce, it was a little bit easier. So this is a thing. Every level you go up, all of a sudden you're now playing against the best of the best. You're top gunning it, so to speak. You're on the big stage now. Only the top 4% or only the top 1% of people. And that is who you're competing against. That is who you have to deliver even better value than. And you might have delivered great value when you're a manager, but now as a GM, you don't stand out as much. And let me tell you why this is happening. And this is based on all the research we've been doing for 15 years, all the people I've been speaking to on 5 continents, hundreds of companies, thousands of executives. This is what came out as to why people were stalling. This is why I wrote the book. The Chief Maker book has all this in it. If you haven't got a copy, just get a copy on Amazon. It's quite affordable at the moment, and I'll guarantee you it will improve your career. So you hit a trough. When people hit a trough, one of 5 things, or probably a number of these 5 things is missing. 1 is career game plan. 2 is routines. 3 is entourage. 4 is assets. 5 is track record. Stands for great. It's our great method. What we find is, if just say you've been a manager for maybe 7-8 years, and you start to realize that other people are being promoted in front of you, which is a big indicator that you are no longer seen as the choice to be promoted again. If that's the case, Chief, stop for a minute and ask yourself, am I treating my boss as my number 1 customer? Am I looking at myself as a professional services firm of one that delivers extreme value to the organization and my boss? If you can't say yes to that, then there's a bit of a challenge. What we might be finding is you maybe don't have the right role fit. You don't have the right skills in order to do that job. Career game plan is about aligning your personal vision, your values, your purpose with a role trajectory that makes sense for you. It's about adding unique value proposition. That is you having unique value so that you magnetically attract opportunities as a leader, as an executive, as a true chief. And when you are doing a job that aligns to your purpose and your values and your unique strengths, I guarantee you're more likely to get promoted faster. So think about that in some depth. The second one is your routine or your rhythm and your discipline. And that is for setting up yourself every day. That is for leading your team on a weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual basis. What is your rhythm and routine for staying focused, for improving, for recovering, for absolutely nailing your job? Your routine changes every time you get promoted or every time you go into a new job, just like your game plan. You've got to start it all over again. That's the big trick, right? E is for entourage, your network, which is your peers, senior executives, people that report to you, external trusted advisors and customers and suppliers, and of course, home. We put in the great method, we put E right in the middle because it's like a keystone. If we don't get that right, it's high stress and high drama. Entourage is where we build trust. And business is a people game, always a people game. And if we have any level of mistrust or stress in that environment, then the whole thing starts to fall apart. So we really have to focus on our entourage and keep building that. Once we get entourage right, we want to build our assets. Again, for this new role, what are the skills, the experience, the education that you need to nail the job now and build, what is our last one? T for track record. A bulletproof track record of results that does not leave a trail of destruction and people wondering who the hell was that just turned up and destroyed our business but got results. So Chief, ask yourself this question. In your current role, have you got the right career game plan? Are you aligned to the role Is your unique value coming out? Are we playing to your strengths? Are you motivated day in, day out? 2, do you have the right routines and rhythm to stay focused, continuously improve and recover? Do you have a good network of trusting people around you that are sorted for the level you're in? Are you connected to senior executives? Are you connected to quality people outside the organisation that you can solve problems with together? Have you got the right skills, knowledge, experience, that is your personal assets, to complete the job with absolute excellence? And T, are you building a new track record in this role right now? Now, if you're doing all of those things, guess what happens? You get promoted faster. You go up the 7-year journey every single time. You go a little bit faster every single time. And whenever there's a little valley of despair, what we call a trough on the way up, guess what happens? You jump it. Rather than sliding back down, potentially even into a lower position in the organisation. So, Chief, this is a great method. It's if you haven't seen it, game plan, routines, entourage, assets, track record. If you go on to the chiefmaker.com website and go under resources, there's actually a scorecard where you can score yourself on this. It's totally free, so check it out if you haven't done it before. The book also talks about this in length. But what I want you to just remember, this is my last point, is if you find yourself stalled, or you find yourself wanting to be promoted a little bit faster, or you find yourself frustrated in your job, then go back to this. It will tell you where to focus next so that you can improve your chances and actually start to love your job. You know what the dream is? The ultimate utopia is that everybody is aligned to the right role and delivering value in a way that they want to. So they can be what we call a true chief in their job, delivering value with excellence week in, week out. And that's what we want for you, because that means greater impact, it means more income, it means happiness. And when you're in love with your job, the research shows us, absolutely bulletproof research now, if you are thriving in your job and in life, the people you live with are 80% more likely to be thriving as well. Remember, Chief, as you look at the people in your team that report to you as a leader, think about this model too. It will help you coach them so they can be better as well. Righto, Chief, that is a little bit of a summary of how to think about what you do when your career stalls or you're looking to get promoted faster. Think about the career journey map. And if you haven't got that image, go to the Chief Maker website, go to the show notes for this episode. You'll see the imagery there, or watch it on YouTube, and I've got all the video there on YouTube for you. Check it out. I know it will help you. If you've got any questions, flick them straight back to us on info@chiefmaker.com.au. Right, Chief, I trust, as always, that you will remain epic.